Welcome to TESPN's winter season review. We're going to talk about some of the highlights of this winter season. And just start quickly, as I'm here with Griffin Wright, we're going to talk about the different sports that play in the winter. Boys and girls basketball both had rebuilding years coming off the COVID pause, but still had a few good highlights and definitely some new talent that we're going to talk about a little bit later to be excited about. You had swim and dive, both the boys and the girls getting in the top 10 in state, so they had great seasons. And then winter track, we had several school records broken, including some that have been there for a long time. So overall, while the winter wasn't necessarily the best season we've ever had, and maybe not quite as many teams that went deep in states compared to the fall season where we had 2 state finalists and a state champion, but still there were some real highlights, and we're going to talk about some of those things. So Griff, for you, who would be, let's say, maybe a boy and girl athlete of the year for you? Or athlete of the season, I should say, in this winter season.
Well, of course, when you say athlete of the season, I'm going to have to say William Hoffler for track. I didn't really, everyone was telling me how fast this kid was, and I needed to see the hype for myself, so I went to do a track, and I mean, you see him against everybody else, you're like, oh God, like this is going to be bad. And this guy flies out the gate, and like he keeps up with probably the very best, and I was very impressed. And I believe he broke like 3 school records this year or something crazy.
Yeah,
like
we had him on the podcast earlier this winter, but yeah, he broke multiple school records, and I believe he's one of the top ranked runners in the country at his age group for the 300. So yeah, that's a good choice. How about female athlete of the winter for you?
There's a lot. There's a lot, and credit to everybody. But I'm gonna have to go with Lindsay Wright. She just the competition. I know that not a lot of people dive. You just gotta give credit where credit's due. She stepped up. I think she got top 8 or something, like top 10, top 8.
She's definitely top 10 at states.
And I can only imagine, like, I know it's like the more the team, more the points. So I know it was almost kind of unfair because she doesn't really got a lot of diving. So just a big shout out to her. And
yeah, and we had her on the podcast as well about 3 weeks ago. It was good talking to Lindsay. All right, for my athletes of the season, I'll start on the girls' side. I'm going to go with Lily Verson, who also broke multiple school records, both jumping and sprinting. And she also is a team captain as a sophomore. And when you see the track team practice, you can just see what a leader that Lily is with that group. So I think it's incredible what she did this winter, and the fact that she's only a sophomore, I think she's only going to keep getting better, which is really encouraging. And then male athlete of the winter, I think, Ty Mathis, right, also broke multiple school records for sprinting or for jumping, long jump and triple jump, and he has his sights set on the high jump record. I don't think he's done that one quite yet. So we have both of them on the podcast recently, and we'll have that up as well for you guys to see our interview with them. I think they were a lot of fun to talk to. But yeah, I got to go with a couple of track athletes, Lily and Ty, who just had incredible winners. How about for you, a rookie of the winter season?
Well, my girl rookie got to go with V. Updike. I mean, she's a freshman, and she's crazy at tennis, and now I hear from you that she's kind of good at soccer as well. I mean, all-around athlete. Watching her in this rebuilding Titan team, starting point guard, I can only imagine the pressure. I mean, she goes against St. Gertrude's, St. Catherine's, Stab.
Yeah.
I mean, all those teams this freshman year. I mean, it's got to be intimidating for V. Updike. So all credit to her.
She was actually just telling me yesterday that for her AAU team, she plays the 2 guard as well. So having to have that point guard responsibility as a freshman, I mean, you and I both know, having been point guards in our life, when that ball is in your hands, it's really tough, especially on a young team that didn't have weapons all over the court. So I think that's a good call. How about a rookie of the year on the boys side?
Man, I'm gonna have to go swimming with Patrick Pouzon. I know that he was hyped up, and I remember hearing, and there was some that he wasn't gonna swim, and I think he decided to swim, and I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Every time I looked on the Instagram story, it was Patrick Pouzon. I mean, I didn't get to see him for myself, but from everything I hear from all the swimmers and all the fans, I mean, gotta give a shout out to him.
Yeah, good call. For my rookies of the year, for the girls, I'm going to go with Alexa Linton, another basketball player. Maybe I'm a little biased because I am her advisor, but she started at the 4 position on that girls basketball team, and she, I think, was based on, I don't have the stats in front of me, but based on the games I saw, had to be probably the leading rebounder, or definitely top 2 or 3. And she just did a lot of the little things that you don't always see on the court, or in the stat sheet, I should say. But she dove on the floor for loose balls, boxed out, set great picks, and just, I think, was a great team player. So I'm going to go with Alexa there. And then for a boy rookie of the year, I would say Isaiah Robinson. I mean, I know we didn't get to see his full arsenal because he only played the last 7 or 8 games in boys basketball, but you could just see the talent that he has, that he's going to be a big-time player. Of course, he had a bad injury in football season. Just the fact that he played at all this year was amazing to me. When I saw him leave this football field in an ambulance in October after the Fort Union game, I didn't think he would play basketball. And then he emerged late in the season as really one of the most talented guys on the team, and helped us have some close games late at Benedictine, at Collegiate, for a couple of examples of that. And then how about, what would you say would be your team of the winter?
Track and field. I think I've went to 2 or 3 matches or meets, and the chemistry that those guys have and they share is crazy. And I've been on a lot of close teams. Like even my basketball team this year, we might not be the most talented, but we had a really good chemistry. But this track team had crazy chemistry. I mean, every time one person would be everybody would be there, screaming, cheering. I've never heard people screaming that loud. So I mean, I gotta give a shout out to them for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with track as well. One thing we haven't mentioned yet, but the boys 4x200 team broke the school record. And placed very high at states, and that is very much a team event. So that kind of support that you were talking about manifested itself on the track in the 4x2. All right, let's wrap this up, Griff, with just a moment of the winter, like just something you remember. I know for the fall we talked about like Trey Ferguson's catch, for example. We talked about the Norfolk Academy soccer game, for example. What was a moment from this winter that stands out to you?
Well, of course, I'm gonna be a little biased, but first off, shout out to that state champion track meet. That was incredible. That's incredible. I was just gonna give again team support. That's definitely an honorable mention. But of course, I'm a little biased. I gotta go at the away Benedictine game for basketball. A lot of people had us, losing by more than 20 probably. And looking at Benedictine and looking at us, you would think we would lose by 20. And then we ended up leading at halftime and only losing by single digits. So the energy in that, and I mean that building was incredible. Playing. Me and DJ, who's also on the podcast, we were talking about, man, this is like a small D1. Like, this is what it is like to play like college basketball. So that moment I definitely never forget. Just walking in, hearing that music, seeing your friends and family in the crowds. That's definitely a moment I won't forget.
That's awesome. I'm gonna go with the win over Woodbury here at Estes. Obviously, both basketball teams didn't win as many games as we had hoped this winter. But that Prep League win against Woodbury, the first Prep League win for Coach Blazer. And it was a game that went back and forth. I mean, we had a great first half, gave away the lead in the third quarter. We were down as much as 8 or 9 in the third quarter. It looked like it was slipping away, and we just did a really nice job as a team, I thought, pulling it together. Big buckets by Luke Fisher, some key stops. And Woodbury had a really good season. I mean, they made the state tournament. They had their best team in many years, so that was a great win. And I think it was just a huge relief for everybody at a time when we really needed to win. So I'm going to go with that for the moment of the winter. And also, even though it wasn't a big crowd that night, the crowd was really energetic, and that was just a fun one. Well, all right, the great news is we're entering the spring season. Spring is the most active season for Titan sports. There's so many different sports. A lot of teams that are really optimistic about having a great season. And so we'll have lots to talk about on coming podcasts. But thanks for tuning in. And for Griffin Wright, I'm Rick Hamlin. We'll see you next time.